Hello, and welcome to the original Loretta Brown Show, radio to open the heart, heal the soul, awaken the consciousness. Good morning, Mr. Benny Mathers. How are you?
Hi, doing very well. Happy Thursday.
What happened to your hair?
I shaved it really quickly. I just took it off. So, yeah, if everyone noticed last week, I did. I had a full head of hair, something I always dreamed about.
It was so much fun. Yeah, we did our little Halloween thing, and you were a famous sports person.
I threw it back to the 90s, kind of like when I was a kid. I was a big Andre Agassi fan, tennis player. So I donned his wig or his likeliness, I guess, of his hair. And so now I'm him now because he doesn't have any anymore. So I'm him again. I should have just dressed up again without the wig because he's now bald.
That was so fun. Yeah, I also liked your backhand and your, whatever.
Well, thank you. Yes, I get into character, especially when it's a sports hero. So
yeah, I got lots of good feedback. I posted great pictures.
Thank you. Yes,
that was super fun.
Yeah, and you look just as beautiful as well too with yours.
Thank you.
Yeah, I hope you were able to get a shot with it though.
Oh yeah, I totally did.
Good.
And I was Cleopatra, Queen of Denial.
Denial.
I just got back from 3 weeks in Egypt, so it was appropriate. And
I thought it looked great.
My joke is that if I go through life in denial, it's so much better, right?
Of course.
Of course, we were floating down the Nile, so that's that's a whole different thing.
Great photos of that trip.
Oh, that was great fun. By the way, thanks for sending the photo of the people with the Cougars thing in front of the pyramid.
You're welcome. Sure, no problem.
It was super fun, and I showed it to everybody. And of course, it starts a fight. It always starts a fight. What do you mean, Cougars? What about that?
It's a local thing. I know. It's just little brother and big brother, basically. Giving each other little razzles.
Yeah, we've had friendly competition in my family forever. Yeah, friendly rivalry. My dad and my brother-in-law used to have a $1 bet every time they'd play each other. And the dollar would, quite often was one way.
Sure. Yeah, of course. And now with inflation, so.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I'm glad to see you. Always glad to see you. And you look fine with or without hair. You look just as handsome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Anyway, I'm Loretta Brown. I'm the owner of Reiki Oasis, located right here in the greater Seattle area. And if you want to find out more about me, you can go to ReikiOasis.com. We are in November. I have to kind of reshift my brain. I think I'm recovered from jet lag, but it's kind of weird how you're a little foggy in the head. My monthly class for women, the Temple of the Divine Feminine, will be meeting Saturday, November 22nd this month. You can join us via Zoom or in person. And then be watching because I'm revamping all kinds of things. I got someone working on a new webpage. And so just next year, it takes me a little while to get things out there, but do get excited. We've got lots of wonderful things coming out of my trip to Egypt and the inspiration and meditations and guidance that I received while I was there of how to reach out a little bit further to everybody. It's a very powerful time on planet Earth. I hope everybody's staying happy, healthy. It's time to reach out to friends. And then let's just look at astrology because we do have a lot going on. I have a wonderful guest coming on in a moment, Wendy Valentine. I'll officially introduce her in a minute. But, when I do the astrology report, I'm always kind of blown away at how it lines up with the person on the show. And Wendy's new book has themes of awakening, liberation, and rebirth. And the sky is mirroring that for us. We're under the glow of a Taurus super full moon that happened on November 5th, which was officially, I think, yesterday. It happened at 5:19 a.m. Pacific time for those beautiful Seattle West Coast people. And it is a moon of abundance, nourishment, and self-worth. It's also around money issues, finance, right? But self-worth. It opposes the sun in Scorpio, urging us to release emotional heaviness, especially around identity, relationships, and security. It's an invitation to rise from survival into sensual living, to ground our worth in pleasure, not pressure. Wow, that's That's crazy in alignment. I know. I got more to go, Wendy, but that's crazy. Mars has just entered Sagittarius. It's our cosmic permission slip to act on faith. If you've been hesitating to chase that dream or speak your truth, the archer's fire, that's a Sagittarian archer. Remember, it's the, it's got the bow and arrow. The archer's fire gives you courage. Venus, the beautiful planet Venus, is sliding into Scorpio. Hang on, everybody. It's happening today. Venus in Scorpio. And it's deepening our desires and reminding us that intimacy starts with radical honesty with ourselves. It asks every person, what do I truly crave? What am I craving? Uranus retrogrades back into Taurus on November 8th, shaking loose outdated definitions of safety and value. Think of it as a financial and emotional feng shui. Declutter the old security blankets. And Mercury is turning retrograde November 9th, followed by the sacred 1111 portal, where Jupiter, Big Daddy Jupiter, I call him sometimes that, he's our cosmic, daddy. He stations retrograde in the sensitive sign of Cancer. And together, these planets, these energies are whispering, slow down, revisit your story, rewrite your beliefs about home, love, and abundance. We are absolutely closing a massive cycle of fear and opening another of faith. And the supermoon plus the 1111 alignment marks the dawn of what I'm calling the new feminine heroine era. And that's exactly what Wendy calls her book, Women Waking Up. The divine feminine is on the rise. It is time to wake up. So if life feels both intense and alive right now, you're right on time. And speaking about right on time, my guest today, Wendy Valentine, is the spirited author, yes, she's spirited, you'll get it, of Women Waking Up, the Midlife Manifesto for passion, purpose, and play. She's the host of the top-rated podcast, the Midlife Makeover Show. I think we need to put that on with a paintbrush. After facing divorce, debt, chronic illness, and loss, Wendy traded tears on the bathroom floor for a steering wheel and took off across America in an RV to rebuild her life from the inside out. Her new book is both a rally cry and a roadmap for women ready to transform midlife crisis into midlife awakening. Through her 7-step freedom process and her Wheel of Midlife self-assessment, she teaches women to kick fear to the curb, reclaim their superpowers, and design lives filled with joy, meaning, and play. Welcome to the show, Wendy. It's great to have you here.
Oh my gosh, what a great introduction. I think I'm going to make that like my morning message to myself. Then I was like, who is that woman and how can I meet her? Amazing.
I know, totally.
I mean, okay. And I love the reading. Do you know when my birthday is? Well, you probably don't. But November 27th.
Oh, my little
I'm a turkey baby. That's
and that you're Sagittarian.
Yes, I know. Is that crazy? The stars align for me to be here today.
Wow. Well, you're so Sag that it's crazy because you're adventurous and you're kind of like, I'm going to tell people how to do it. And I'm aiming over there and get out of the way and fire. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. What a great reading, though. It is a beautiful time right now. I feel it. And oh my gosh, the full moon last night, at least here on the island of Madeira, Portugal, was gorgeous. It's huge. It was amazing.
Yes. Yeah. It's having its heyday with us. I want to find out about, your book and why you wrote it and all that, but I just want to ask you kind of a general question because we are living in a world of transformation and change. What are you most, I'm not sure it's the right word, but what are you most excited about right now?
Oh, what a great question. And I kid you not, before I even started on the show here today, I was thinking about how there is this vibe, this energy right now. I don't know if it's because I'm in this kind of midlife women's empowerment space, but I sense it. I feel it. It feels amazing. I truly do believe that women are waking up to their greatest potential. They're finally saying yes to themselves. They're giving themselves permission to be who they want to be, not who family, friends, society, who their bosses want them to be. They are really, really looking within. And just like you said in your reading, they are asking themselves the question, what am I craving? And I think more importantly, who am I craving? Because I believe that we tend to, especially in those first few decades of life, in our 20s and 30s, we're asking the questions about what, when, where, and how. We're, checking off all the boxes and we're setting all of our goals, but we tend to forget about the who. We forget about, wait, who do I really want to be in this life, in this chapter, in this next stage of my life? And for me, that was the most important question I had to ask of myself to get me to even where I'm at right here in this moment in time.
Yeah, who do I want to be? I don't think enough people spend time thinking about that, because a lot of people are just trying to juggle their schedule, right?
Oh, yeah.
I got to juggle this. I got to work. I got these children. I got this knucklehead man over here. I got these friends who I don't know I can trust, or whatever the deal it is, right?
Yeah, we're creatures of habit. But the good thing is we're also creatures of change. We have the ability to change if we want to, again, if we give ourselves permission to change. But yes, I mean, I'm sure a lot of us can relate to this. You'll wake up one day and you're like, wait, what am I doing? I know I just did the same thing yesterday and the day before and the day before and last year and the year before. Like, when's it going to change? When is it going to give, right? Like, something's got to give. And it's up for us to stop and evaluate and say, okay, I'm going to change my life. I'm going to change me. Even if there's nothing completely wrong in your life, if you're like, you know what, I'm a pretty happy person, everything's going pretty good, still, life is going to toss things your way, and you need to evolve with that. You need to evolve even above that, and to prepare yourself for when things can kind of go bad in life.
Yeah, I'm a believer that things are going to come, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like you can try to ignore whatever, but pretty soon, God, the universe, all that loves you, is what I say, is going to throw something straight in your face just to find out what you're made of.
Yeah, exactly. And becoming more resilient, and it truly can teach you a lot about life. I mean, I look back in my life and some of the things that I've been through, and not to like bring out the violin and play me a sad song, but I truly am grateful for every single experience, because it has created me into this woman that is stronger, that I can handle tough things in life. And I look through all of those tough times and go, okay, what can I learn from this? And how can I improve because I've went through this?
So let's lay a little foundation for my listeners who may not know who you are, right? Because our story is our story. And I do work a lot with the shadow and trauma and deep, dark aspects of ghosting, personal ghosts, right?
Nice.
Ghost healing. Yeah. And one thing that I tell people, and I'm going to say this before you share your story, because I like to get to the nitty gritty. I want to remind people that our stories are what happened to us, but they are not who we are. Yeah. And so with that foundation, because I want to give you substance, honey. You've got so much substance. Women waking up. So tell us a little bit about your story. How did you get into that? What was your turning point? What happened?
I'll tell you what, this is the nitty gritty. This is the good stuff here. Yeah. 45 years old. I'm 52 now, almost 53. And
are you just a kid?
I know, just a baby, just a little baby. So 45 years old, and definitely the toughest time in my life. I was going through a divorce, almost an empty nest. I was unemployed, had about 150 grand in debt. suffering from chronic illness. I know, right? The list goes on. The list
That's
goes
my
on.
girl. There you go.
I know. I mean, if you're going to go down, you might as well go all the way, right?
Yeah, burn.
Going through, let's see, Lyme disease, black mold toxicity. We'll toss in some menopause just for fun, just for the hot flashes. That was a blast. And within a 6-week period, my dog died, my cat died, and then my brother died. Needless to say, I was suffering from depression. I had anxiety and panic attacks for the first time in my life. I was like, is this menopause? Wait, what's going on? And yeah, I was at a point in my life where I thought, okay, girl, things are either going to continue to spiral downwards, or you're going to make the decision to completely transform your life. And I realized, I'll never forget this moment. I was lying on my bathroom floor, bawling my eyes out, feeling sorry for myself, and realizing, okay, I'm going to be turning 50 here in the next few years. And here I am. Like, I feel like I was totally starting over.
Yeah.
But then it was the thought of, I'm totally starting over. I was like, wait a minute. This is kind of a great thing because, it's like two roads diverged in the wood, right? However the quote is. And I took the road less traveled by, the road that would lead back to my true self, who I really wanted to be. And I love, I don't know if there's any Seinfeld watchers out there, but there's George Costanza when he does Opposite Day. And I can remember in that moment thinking, well, what if I just did the opposite of everything I've been doing? Because nothing had been working out well for me, at least in that phase of my life. I was like, well, what if I totally change everything? And everything from thoughts to beliefs to values to my career to where I live and how I lived and how I ate and how I moved my body, everything. And I decided in that moment, I was like, I'm going to completely change my life. It was like I was signing up to just be my own little personal experiment to see what I could do. Like, what the heck? Why not at that point in my life? And I also, in that moment, had a vision of driving an RV across the country, something I had always wanted to do. And I thought, what if I actually could make this dream happen? What if I actually did it? And I'll tell you what, though, even though driving an RV across the country was a really cool vision to have, especially like going through Sedona and the sunset, singing along to cool music with the windows down, that's a really cool vision. But I was most excited about the woman behind that steering wheel, the woman in the driver's seat, metaphorically and figuratively, driving my life and being a happy, healthy, strong, financially free woman that loves herself for the first time in her life. And that's what I was so excited about.
I love that. I love that story so much. And, I'm going to ask you a question because you said a couple of things that stood out. Number one, that you had thought about driving an RV for a long time. So there was some seed of that within you, right? And then at that pivotal moment of that crisis point, right, which I think is a very important point to take a look at, you had a vision. Something came up out of you and said, boink. And you also made some kind of real connection with the woman behind the wheel. Do you believe in divine guidance of some kind, of God or higher self, or something within that guides us?
Oh, definitely. If we can get quiet enough to hear.
Thank you.
And also to actually take action upon what we hear. And again, I think that point in my life, looking back, I thought, like, why not? Why not finally listen to that silly little voice that's telling me to do crazy things, And really the effort, what scared me the most with this realization that I had, it's like, oh my God, I got to get a job. I got to get out of debt. I got to actually seek, therapy for all of this trauma that I've been experiencing. I got to get healthy. I got to do this. I got to do that. Like that in itself felt very overwhelming to where I just wanted to wave the white flag already. And I hadn't even started, which is most people, it's like what paralysis by analysis, right? We don't even take the first step because we're so scared of everything that we got to do. But then I thought, well, wait a second. I would rather go for it and put that energy towards that pathway rather than staying down in the dumps, being miserable, being depressed. I was like, I felt like I was so frustrated in a very healthy frustration. I was so frustrated. I was so frustrated with myself and my life that the attempt to try to go for something else was just way better. I was like, I'm done. Like I am done with this woman with the limiting beliefs and the fears. And I was like, no, I deserve better. I know I do. And listening to that voice to say, hey, let's go for this dream of taking off in an RV. Like, let's go for it. And I didn't even know what all that meant. I didn't know what would come after all of that. And I found myself just stopping the conversation in my head of like, okay, well, what am I going to do after that? I was like, no, let's just one step at a time, right? A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And my first step was I had to get a job. I was like, I think I got to get a job if I'm going to try to make this dream happen, right? And it's crazy how the stars align when you align with your true self and your purpose.
Yes.
And things will just start to fall in your lap and you're like, oh, wow, look at that. Or you meet someone or you go somewhere and you see something. It's amazing how that happens. But within a 4-week period, I got a job in Chicago selling new construction houses, which I had never done before. I was like, I don't know how to sell houses, but I was like, I'll go for it. So I moved from Virginia to Illinois and then started that job. And little by little, I just started working away at, I think you even said in your reading about clutter, about even, emotional clutter and physical clutter. And that's what I was working away at. It was just getting rid of the clutter of my mind and my heart and in my life, toxic relationships, limiting beliefs, doubt, people pleasing, you name it. I mean, there was a lot to chip away at. It's like Michelangelo, when they asked him how he carved the statue of David. And he said, oh, well, I just chipped away at everything that was not him.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of times we think we need to add something more into our life, right? But really it's chipping away at the things that are not you.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, you have to take a really good hard look at yourself, your thoughts, your beliefs, your values, your career, your relationships, your behaviors, your habits, and go, okay, what is this? Is this me? Or is this what someone else told me to do, or how I should think, or all of that? And as you chip away, you get closer and closer to your true self, to your authentic self. And it's possible.
And it's possible. I just like big yes, everything she said. Women waking up. I like you talking because you're real. I can tell you're coming from your own journey of brokenness. We get to the point where I'm like, I got nothing to lose. I'm at the bottom, right? Like I might as well go for it. I mean, at least I got to give it my gung ho. And if I fail, at least I know I tried, right? And I think that's a really big deal. We're going to take a station break. We're going to come back and talk a little bit more. We'll bring in your freedom technique. But I want to say something because this is more interesting synchronicities. And I'm going to say this on air because I know I have cousins in Walla Walla that listen. By the way, cousins in Walla Walla, I love you. And you can reach out anytime. And Wendy used to live in Walla Walla. So there's that. And the other thing you said is you talked about two roads diverged in a yellow wood. And I took the one less traveled by. When I was 12 years old, I did some sort of a collage, and that was my life quote. Yeah. From the time I was a little girl. I know. And it has been my guiding light my whole life. Go this way. Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah, I do too. So the stars are in alignment. I am blown away with how aligned you are with what's going on. I'm going to encourage everybody right now while we take a little station break. Why don't you just go get Women Waking Up by Wendy Valentine? Just do it. Just do it. Because I'm just going to say this isn't just another self-help book. She's really got it laid out step by step. And her own story is in here, which is lovely how you've woven that together into the chapters. So anyway, it's, of course, the original Loretta Brown here with the original Wendy Valentine. We're going to take a little station break. We'll be right back.
Cool. All clear.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Did you know that Reiki healing can be done at a distance? It's true. So let Reiki Oasis focus powerful energy to help relieve your stress, grief, sadness, anger, and so much more. Convenient, personalized treatments at a distance can increase lightness of being. During your appointment, find a quiet place to lie down or sit to receive healing energies. If you want help with your dis-ease, visit ReikiOasis.com. Harness life's energy. Visit ReikiOasis.com today.
Time is funny. Sometimes it seems fast and other times slow. When it comes to time slots remaining on Alternative Talk 1150, time is running out. In fact, there are just a few primetime slots available. So if you want to host your own radio program, the time to call 425-653-1150 is right now. Nope, no time for excuses. Dial 425-653-1150 to find out how affordable it can be to host a radio show. Alternative Talk, we have an opportunity waiting just for you.
Talk radio that will get you thinking. Alternative Talk 1150.
Let me know when you're ready to come back. Sorry about that. Okay. Did you have a question for me too, or did you have something? Oh, well, you just wonder where I went. So. Oh, yeah. Well, I have to turn things off for the break. So. All right. Right back.
I can do anything. Thank you. Perfect song. Welcome back to the original Loretta Brown Show. La 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 la. Loretta Brown Show with Wendy Valentine, the author of Women Waking Up, the Midlife Manifesto for Passion, Purpose, and Play. A reminder that these shows are archived and you can download them for free at the KKNW 1150 AM archives for the original Loretta Brown Show. I always laugh how my radio voice clips in there, right? And we're also on iTunes, Spotify, X Megaphone, YouTube, Podcast One. I know we're everywhere.
There's so many.
Go find it, right? Just go find it. You'll find it. And there's lots of other great shows on there too. Before the break, we're talking about, Wendy's actual real life story and how what she has created has come out of her own suffering.
Yeah.
and victory, right? But I'd like you to talk about your freedom thing, right? Your freedom technique, right?
Yeah. Well, like I was saying before the break, after I had moved to Chicago and started rebuilding my life over the course of those 2 years, and then finally bought that RV and I took off across the country. And
your RV has a name. We have to give her presence on the show.
She's like, I need to be recognized.
She's like,
her name is Felicia, as in bye Felicia. Some people have heard that term, bye Felicia. And actually, you know what? The reason why I named her that, not because it was kind of funny and cute, but also it was like bye to the old ways, the old Wendy, all the old limiting beliefs and the old everything that I was so ready to just let go of. So so Felicia and I set off out there on the open road, had a blast, and started the Midlife Makeover Show podcast. And from there, again, everything just kind of started lining up for me. And as I looked back at those 2 years of completely reinventing myself and reinventing my life, I was like, oh, well, how did I literally, even though I went through it, I was like, how did I actually do that?
Yes.
How do I put this into words? So I started working on my book, and the freedom framework is actually everything that I did over the course of those 2 years to completely change my life. So freedom is an acronym. F is to free yourself of limiting beliefs and self-sabotage. We all do that. R is to reset your life by clearing out emotional and physical clutter. We talked about that. E is envision a new future filled with vitality and confidence and joy. That's probably my favorite step of them all because it's so much fun. The second E is embrace and explore your potential, your passions, and your purpose. I think especially for women at midlife, we tend to forget our strengths and our power. And we got to bring that back because we have so much to give to ourselves and to the world. D is detach from tomorrow and start living for today, like right here, right now. O is own your best self with unshakable boundaries and self-worth. That's a good one too. I had to really learn that. I was like, I'm admitting, I'm like, I really had to learn to create boundaries. That was not, you're not taught those things.
Mm-mm,
you're not really, when you're a teenager in your 20s and 30s, like, okay, let's go ahead and create some boundaries here. Like, I wasn't taught that. So here I was, 50, finally setting boundaries in my life. And then finally, M is master yourself so that you stay grounded with life's, as we talked about before, inevitable ups and downs, which it's going to happen, right? I mean, especially as we get older, our bodies are changing, our parents are aging, the birdies are leaving the nest, our careers can be changing. There's so much going on. So the stronger that you can be, the more that you're able to handle all those things that come your way.
Well, and I love that because it is very step by step. And I'm going to tell people, because I do read people's books, believe it or not. And she has it laid out. She's got all kinds of questions. You can take each one of those letters. She's got a chapter on it. You're going to work through it. And then I also love how you wove your own story into the book, where at the beginning of each chapter, like, well, here's where I'm at. Now I took the job and now I'm this and I'm that. So you can actually find out, how did she actually end up driving that RV? She's a little tiny thing, up there behind the big wheel, right? Yeah, exactly. But the other thing is that when we get down into, because you said it earlier, sometimes, oh God, it's so often in midlife, we've lost ourselves if we ever knew who we were. Because, my life is reflective of many people's lives, like your life too, where I came through childhood and I was taught, well, you're going to go do this and you're going to do that. And, I got married and had kids and I'm doing all this stuff. And then pretty soon I wake up and going, what has happened to little Loretta? In your case, it's what has happened to little Wendy. Where are you? And when everything starts to fall apart, because that's what happens, right?
Yeah.
And or your pre-crisis point is what I call it. There's red flags, yellow flags on the field where you're aware of the fact that you're breathless, or you can't sleep, or you're stressed out, or you're having, hives all the time, or something, right? Something's going on. But at that point, like you said, you got this idea of driving this RV, and then you got this overwhelm.
Yes.
So in my opinion, your process is going to say, let's just take this one step at a time. Let's not be overwhelmed, because the overwhelm stops people and they go right back into that old pattern. They don't know how to get out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. A comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. Right.
Right.
And sadly, a comfort zone can actually be uncomfortable. Right. Even, going back to my story of being there, laying on the bathroom floor, bawling my eyes out, divorce, disease, debt, depression, you name it. I was going through it. But in some ways, it was comfortable because it was familiar. I knew how to maneuver through some, even though tough. I knew I was familiar with the people and the places and the things and even my trauma. I was familiar with my trauma. I was familiar,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, I know
that's
you.
my friend. I'm not giving that up. What are you talking about? Right.
Yes. Yeah. And until you have that kind of face-to-face moment with yourself and go, girl, we've got to let this go. Just like you said too, this is not, it might be your story, but it's not you. You create you, right? And it is gaining that control back and saying, this is who I want to be. This is how I want to be in life. No one else has a say-so in that. It's up to you.
You also talk about dreams. I want to bring that in, because a lot of people will say to me things like, well, like if I could say, like, if we can just erase everything and you could just sit here and tell me, what would you like to do? Who would you like to be? And they'll come up with something like, well, I want to, be a vertical mountain climber or something. And I'm over here doing stitchery. And I'm like, and they're like, but I don't know how to be that. I don't know how to do that. Right. Because it's so foreign to the parameters I've put around the programming, the conditioning, the attempting to be who you think the other people think you should be, or whatever that is. Right.
Yeah.
That trap.
Yeah. And I tell you though, one of the greatest things I did for myself back then, and I think what anyone could do, honestly, take some time, which just that in itself takes some time, and actually think about and write about. There's power in writing, as you know, right? Power in journaling. Write about the person that you want to be. If I said, here's a magic wand, and you can be whoever you want. Don't worry about, again, the what, when, where, and the how. Just leave that alone. Think about the person that you want to be. And if you imagine if there was a drone flying over you all day long, I want you to imagine, like, what's it recording? How are you waking up in the morning? How are you when you go to look at yourself in the mirror? What are you thinking? What are you saying? How do you eat? Are you eating? Are you taking your time and appreciative of what you're eating? Are you sitting down to meditate? Are you journaling? Are you going for a walk? How are you when you walk into a room? What are you like in your relationships? What are your relationships? Like, everything in detail. So much so that you're like, oh my God, I'm tired of designing my new self. But it truly does make a difference. And here's the biggest thing. Every single day, when you wake up, you step into the shoes of the new you. You act like her, you think like her, you behave like her, everything. And I can remember my Aunt Annie told me back then during this time, she's like, darling, you've always wanted to be an actress, so why don't you just act like the woman you want to become?
That's great.
I thought, well, that's pretty genius. And I was like, okay. I mean, really, right? It's, again, we are creatures of habit. So we are the ones that make the habit. No one else can create the habit for us. And our way of being and thinking and believing, it's all habitual. It's whatever you believe. It's whatever you're doing. Create the habit of the woman or the man that you want to be, period. Is it simple? No. Is it worth it? Yes.
Yeah, it's a revamping, a reframing, all the laws of the universe, like what you focus on, you will experience, you're sending a boomerang of energy out that's going to get something and it's going to bring it back to you. But we do have to change those internal negative stories, or we've got to figure out how to shift that over, right? Those old patterns.
You're exactly right. And I think that's the first step of change and even going after that big dream. Because as you step into that person that would make that dream come true, then the stars align. Then you'll you'll have that courage. You'll gain that courage as you become this person that would become a mountaineer or start that business or write that book or start your show. As you become that person, you'll naturally move into those new activities that you want to do.
Yeah. And I want to pull out a couple of points because you said it earlier. This is not necessarily easy to do, but it's well worth it. And I think it's a course correction constantly, because those old patterns will try to pull you back in. There'll be these days where you're laying on the floor crying in the corner. And you also in your book brought out a couple of times when there were people who shoved you in the right direction, threw you off the cliff, said, hey, what are you doing? Go do it. Right. Like even your Aunt Annie here. I love that advice.
Yeah, I know.
Go be an actress. Just make it up. Right.
It was actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because there was my friend Amy. She just happened to be here in Madeira last week. And I read that little excerpt from the book. And that moment was when I came to that moment of like, all right, I'm about to fly from Chicago to Nashville, Tennessee to buy this RV. And it was like, oh my God. Like, I'm going to make this dream come true. And then I was like scared of the dream. So I was like, what am I, like, I've been working so hard for the last 2 years to make this dream come true. And now I'm going to be scared of my dream. Like, what the heck is happening? But all of the what if questions came up.
Yeah.
What if I'm making a big mistake? What if I can't, what if I'm not good at having a podcast? What if I can't be a writer? What if I can't, I call my friend Amy and she says, but what if you are? But what if you can? What if you,
right.
in a few years from now, you're talking to Loretta Brown radio show?
Yeah, exactly. Totally.
And I think it's just about having faith in yourself, having faith in the process, and just knowing it'll all work out. And you can always pivot. You can always pivot and change to something else. Like you're not stuck with anything.
Yep.
Right? If you all of a sudden you're like, I'm going to start this business, and you start the business and months go by and you're like, I'm not liking this, or it's not working out. It's okay. Like, give yourself some grace. It's okay.
Yeah, I love that so much, because I always tell people, first of all, always give yourself permission to change your mind. So this is not a forever decision, because that really stops people. And then in the meantime, a beautiful woman wrote a book a few years back, In the Meantime. And I'm always telling myself, well, okay, so in the meantime, I'm going to make bologna sandwiches, right? And one day I'll have steak, or whatever it is. Yeah. And I think that if we play with ourselves and talk to ourselves in that way, it's very, very helpful. It just helps us unlock ourselves and unstick ourselves.
Yeah.
You, in your book, because like I said, in chapter 8, map out your midlife dream, you literally say, I'm quoting from you, if there is one chapter in this entire book I want you to fully grasp the most, it's this one. Yeah. This is where the magic happens. And this is where you start to make the shift into a new life and a new you. And once again, people, write it down. Chapter 8, map out your midlife dream. Why is this the most important?
Well, I think at any time in our lives, but especially if you're in a place when you're feeling invisible or stuck or miserable or lost, you've got to really design your new life. You've got to think about what you want.
Yes.
And you got to ask yourself these questions. And again, I think I had said this before, so especially like in our 20s and 30s, we're checking off all the boxes of kids, career, marriage, house in the burbs. You're doing all the things, which is all great and wonderful. But especially as you get into your 40s and 50s, like midlife, it's different. Life is going to be different, whether you like it or not, right? And so you have to sit and go, okay, what do I want in friendships now? What do I want in my family? What about my finances? Finances are going to change. What you spend money on is going to change.
Right.
Right? What you're saving money for, your health is going to change. So you yourself and your life deserve that time and that dedication and that care. So take a look at those things and get excited about it. All right. Like think about all the things. I feel like as we become adults, like we're not allowed to dream anymore. But when we're kids, we're like, oh, I want a trampoline and I want, a shiny red bicycle and whatever, like with a bird on my shoulder while I'm riding my bicycle. I don't know. Like you can just dream whatever you want, I mean, crazy. But I don't know. Actually, I did see that. I did see that.
I'm thinking that might have been right here in Seattle. It could be in Fremont here in Seattle. Could be.
I did actually see a guy in a Harley with parrots on his shoulders while he was. I was like, how are they staying on there? Anyways, but whatever. Dream whatever you want.
Yeah.
Give yourself permission to dream.
Well, and all of this beautiful self-introspection questions, like I really recommend, I'm a strong believer in journaling. Like I journal all the time, like get it right, get it down, put it down. But I think that if we don't know where we're headed, we're never going to get there. So my beautiful Sagittarian Archer friend, you are helping us find our way by, and it's really clear. If you don't know what you want, you just know what you don't want. Well, how are you going to get there? So mapping out the dream, playing with it, also realizing that you can adjust it, you can erase it, you can rewrite it. And you do have vision boards in here. I love vision boards. People are like, I hate vision boards. I'm like,
I love them.
How can you hate a vision board? You can't.
Like hating a coloring book. I mean, come on.
Come on, right? Are you just hating the process that you actually have to sit there and allow something to come? I mean, you don't have to overthink it. You just got a bunch of pictures, cut them out and stick them on a piece of tag board, or do a digital one, I like the tag board.
And I have the digital vision board in there. That's included. But I totally agree. And, we can sit and dream and then we'll forget about our dreams. I had that vision board, the one that, with the RV on it and a book and everything. I mean, I had that on my wall. I stared at that thing for 2 years.
You have to send me a picture of you and your RV, like behind the wheel. I want do you understand? With the Wonder Woman, Woman in the.
I know. I wonder if I have one on my website. I think I have one where I'm sitting on top of the RV. I'm actually sitting on top of it on the hood. But I'll have to look to see if I have one of me driving, but it's a blast. It is a blast. Okay. And here, I have a point to make about that. Actually, I did not know how to drive an RV. I did not know how to operate an RV, to do the hookups, to do the electric, I did not know, but I thought, how hard could it be? Okay. I mean, I've had 3 kids. I was like, okay, I had 3 children, raised 3 children. Surely I can drive an RV across the country. But the saying is leap and the net will appear. You're the net. Have some faith in yourself. You'll figure it out. And honestly, it's the figuring out that is so exciting. I mean, I'll never forget. I remember the part when my first night in the RV was in St. Louis, Missouri, which coincidentally, that was where I was born. I had Mid-Mac there for 40 years. And I remember it was my first time having to hook up the RV. And I backed that thing in there. I was so nervous and everyone was watching me. They're like, who's this little, this little diva trying to park this RV? But I did it. And I remember I was like, whoo, I did that. I was so proud of myself. It's like, but it's like the silliest things that you can get excited about. Like, okay, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's something that even if it's talk about journaling. Okay. If you decide tomorrow morning, I'm going to start journaling, you write out a page in your journal, pat yourself on the back and be like, I did that. It doesn't have to be anything that big of a deal, right?
Yeah,
Or,
right.
okay, I've decided to drink more water. You drink more water today. Cool. You did it. Just congratulate yourself on whatever you're attempting to do because you're worth it. It's worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, very much so. In your book, you also have chapter 2, Empower Your Superpower. I had a lot of fun with this chapter, and find out what our superpowers are. And you have a place where you can take a little online quiz, right?
Yeah.
That's at your website, Wendy Valentine website.
Yeah, actually, yeah, and you can even go to mysuperheroquiz.com and you can find which of the 6 superheroes that you are. There's Spark, Sage, Serenity, Halo, Harmony, and Endura. I am a Spark.
Yes,
I'm
you are Spark.
I'm Spark. I'm gonna guess you're probably, you got to be a Sage. Are you a Sage? Did you take it?
I took the test. Yeah, absolutely.
I can tell because with what you do and the vibe I get from you, you're a Sage. Very wise.
Yeah.
And you love sharing your wisdom with the world. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's a fun chapter. And I think we all need to be reminded of our strengths, our superpowers, and also what can be our kryptonite, what can drain our superpowers, and what can help reignite our superpowers. And it truly can make a huge difference when you tap in to that inner strength that we all have.
Well, I love it when people have what I call mirrors. You know, I think of astrology, numerology, all of these things as mirrors. It's merely you looking at yourself, and we're incredibly curious about ourselves. So everything that we do, like these quizzes and things, and then we read about them, or human design, or the psychology tests, whatever they are. I really highly recommend people do it because it's just you get to look at yourself in a different way, like, looking in a mirror this way or that way, right?
Yeah.
And the more information that we can have about ourselves, of course, the more we know ourselves and the more happy we can be, because we can figure out how to allow ourselves to be who we're meant to be, which is the biggest thing, right?
Yeah.
Which is what you're doing, my little sparkly friend.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You, I'm just going to say this because I'm watching the time, which has felt like 3 seconds. You also have a great thing called the Wheel of Midlife, which I just recommend people get the book and look at it and go find out, because I want you to tell us where to find you, right? And the things you offer real quick. We got like 30 seconds.
Yeah. Okay, 30 seconds. All right.
We have a minute.
WendyValentine.com. That's the best place where you can find me. My hangout is Instagram and Facebook and Substack, and the Midlife Makeover Show podcast, which can be heard just like yours too, everywhere. But yeah. And the book is wherever books are sold. It's on Amazon, and there's over $500 in bonuses that come with the book, which you can get from my website as well. I wanted to give everyone as much as they possibly could, because I don't want to leave anything out.
Right. I get it. Yeah. So as we're going to slide out of the show, if you could whisper one sentence into the heart of every woman listening today, what would it be? If you could whisper one sentence into the heart of every woman listening today, what would it be?
I love you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I do.
Absolutely. I feel
really,
it.
It's for them to hear that whisper all the time, every day.
Yeah.
For themselves.
Well, Wendy Valentine, it has been a joy and a delight to have you so astrologically aligned for the original Loretta Brown show. And for everybody out there, go out there and just get women waking up. It's time. You got nothing else to do this weekend. You might as well just, do it. Bathe under the super moon, put your crystals out there, and have a great life. and love to you, Wendy. Please enjoy where you're at. Send me some sunshine and some good juju. I'll send you some Seattle rain.